Hey guys and girls, what's going on? My username is Danhila, and right now I'm on my terrace, which is relatively quiet, by the way. Even though there are buildings like right next to me, but all the people are either asleep or those that are not asleep or I don't know what the hell they're doing. So anyway, I decided to do like a vlog kind of thing, and all the backlight lighting, by the way, is captured by my HTC phone. There isn't that much light behind me. I don't know how it's capturing so much light, but this is great actually. The phone with its ultra pixels I think it has, it's pretty decent for the front facing camera that I'm using to record. So anyway, why I'm doing this is a quick video here, just to share some thoughts on things I wanted to talk about. Basically, first of all, I've seen and I've read, actually I've seen and I've read some reviews of the recently released Batman vs Superman movie. Now it came out, was it like, I don't remember exactly the date it came out, but it was very recently. So anyway, I actually thought the movie was pretty decent and pretty great, and I actually enjoyed it. But a lot of people, in terms of actually a lot of critics, not most people actually like the movie, but most critics and most movie reviewers, I guess, don't really like it, which is kind of weird. Most reviewers were actually expecting the movie to be kind of like lighthearted, to have like more humor, to be generally more fun, I guess, more I don't know, not really have this. Oh, for a second I thought something was happening outside. It doesn't matter. To have this dark theme, I guess, and to all those people I have to say, seriously, a light theme? You wanted something? You wanted humor in Batman vs Superman? That's just crazy to even like consider, because actually this movie draws a lot of inspiration from Dark Knight Returns, which was a comic by Frank Miller, and then got adapted into a animation that came out like 2 years ago. I think the first and the second part. I think it was 2 years, maybe less. Yeah, definitely 2 years. So I would definitely recommend you go check the animation. For some reason I like the animation more than the comic, even though it's basically the same, but when you see it in an anime form, it kind of, for me at least, it packs more punch, the whole story. So it takes a lot of inspiration from that, but the problem with this movie, and I guess this could be considered a bad decision for the movie to begin with, was the fact that Batman and Superman fight, but they don't know much about each other at this point in their universe. While in The Dark Knight Returns, Batman and Superman already knew each other pretty well. The Justice League had already been formed, and it has been disbanded. So they actually have known each other for a long time. I mean, that's what made the story, I guess, more impactful. And later I'm going to talk about a couple of different other aspects to why I think it would have been better that they made this movie after the Justice League films. Just the whole... I really get why that they had to really make this movie at this particular time and not later on. Why didn't they just go for maybe a solo Batman film right again, and then the Justice League? But anyway, something else I really feel it's important to the story that they didn't show was Jason Todd dying. That's the second Robin. I don't know how many of you know this. Now, this could be for one of two reasons. Some people have speculated that it's possible that they didn't show that because Jason Todd isn't actually dead in the movie. He's become the Joker, which I don't believe actually they're gonna go with that, but it's possible that that's why they didn't include his death, and that might be something we understand in the upcoming Suicide Squad movie. Though again, I really don't think that will be the case. It's possible, but I don't think it will be the case. But if he's actually dead and they didn't like mention his death much more greatly in Batman vs Superman, that would be kind of stupid, because they showed the suit, which was kind of not bad, but that's not what I wanted, I guess. So I wanted like the first 5 minutes where they show Thomas and Martha Wayne die to be mostly Batman seeing Jason Todd die. That would make a much more serious impact on the entire movie, because Martha and Thomas Wayne dying is something I guess you would leave for a Batman Begins kind of story, like the one with the Christopher Nolan, when you're telling the beginning of Batman's entire path and his journey as a hero or vigilante or whatever you want to use as a word. And didn't really fit here, and a lot of you are gonna say, well, yeah, but how would they otherwise, reach the conclusion where Batman and Superman fight, and that's such an important part of it? Well, I still think they could have, because we know Martha Wayne dies twice more in the movie, which is, I think, enough. Like, we see her dead. Actually, we see her grave later on in the movie, and kind of like a nightmarish scene. And then we also get another glimpse of her and Thomas Wayne dying when Batman and Superman fight. So I think that would have been enough for... Well, I think that would have been enough. And that's, I guess, so far is what I want to say for Batman vs Superman. I really liked it. I guess some things could have been different to make the movie better and maybe appeal to critics, but I think to true DC fans, this is a much better variant of the movie. So what else? The other thing I want to talk about is, all these... Recently it came out that the LG G5 is not made entirely out of metal, like... And this guy Jerry rigs everything, like he went and tears down the phone, of course, the G5. He does tear downs all the time. He tears down the phone, and he scratches off the back of the phone and says that's plastic. It turns out it's not plastic anyway, but first of all, when you're doing any sort of videos on YouTube, when you're doing any sort of like technology videos or even teardowns, which I'm not really sure what area exactly they qualify, I'm guessing it doesn't matter anyway, you have to know what you're talking about. And when you go out and say wholeheartedly, I'm not even sure that's a word, I'm not sure why the hell I use that. If you go in a video and you say that you're 100% sure that the back is made out of plastic and there's a tiny bit of aluminum there, and you say that to thousands of people that are watching your video, that's wrong. You shouldn't say that, because that makes people think twice before buying the phone, or maybe they're not gonna buy the phone now because they think it's actually made out of plastic. Now, I'm not sure he's gonna make another video to actually include the explanation from LG that he's wrong, actually, basically. That it turns out it's primer and paint that's at the backside of the LG. But basically, I'm really hoping that he does like a video where he explains that he's sort of wrong, but you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't really do that. And because I'm an LG fan, this is why I'm doing this pretty much. I have to admit that I'm kind of an LG fan. Like, you definitely understand when you see me. So yeah, you should definitely not do that. And another thing is, I'm really disappointed by people going out of their way not to buy the phone because of its design. It's really weird you won't buy a phone because of the way it looks. I'm guessing that people consider their phones more of an accessory other than something that's actually useful, that you have to make phone calls on and do all your daily stuff, like phone calls, messaging, Facebook, gaming for me, whatever. And I guess some people look at it more as an accessory and don't really care about the fact that it has like this modular design, which is really nice. It's amazing. It's the first phone to ever have this, and but yeah, people won't buy it because it looks weird, I guess, which is a bad reason not to buy something. I just never understood this. Like, maybe because I don't have a high sense of things looking good or something, I don't know, but I never understood this. I will definitely buy the phone. And one last thing I want to talk about is, because I want this video to be as short as possible, is the fact that a lot of people think it's not fully modular, and it's not. And I think that Project Ara, when it comes, it's gonna blow it out of the water. There is actually one problem with this. Project Ara, if I remember correctly, I was reading about that maybe definitely, I'm pretty sure it's 3 years ago when I first heard about Project Ara. Maybe I'm going a little bit out of my way here, I'm not sure, that's why I'm not gonna claim this, but it's definitely been a long time.